Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, founder at Online Seller UK. And today I've got another interesting topic, and that's quite interesting and needed for all Amazon sellers. And I'm joined with Joy, who is the founder and CEO of getreviews.ai. And by the name itself, you can understand it's about getting reviews for Amazon sellers. And the topic today, we'll be talking about the importance of the social proof for people selling on Amazon. And anyway, so without further ado, Joy, welcome to our podcast.
No, thank you so much, Prabhat, for having me. I'm very excited to speak with you today.
Excellent. So if you introduce yourself, your company, and we take it from there.
Yeah. So I mean, you already gave a great introduction, but just to reiterate, my name's Joy. I'm the CEO of getreviews.ai. We're a tool for e-commerce sellers to collect more reviews on marketplaces such as Amazon, Shopify, Walmart. We help collect more reviews through package inserts, QR codes, and surveys. Mhm.
Okay,
And we currently
excellent.
work with, yeah, and we currently work with sellers all over the world. And yeah, I know we're gonna have an interesting conversation today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think when we talk about reviews, there is always some sort of fear in Amazon sellers' mind. Am I following Amazon's terms and conditions? So let's start with a difficult question first. So what you are suggesting and what we are talking today, are they all in Amazon's terms and conditions or within Amazon terms and conditions?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you're right in the sense that I mentioned the use of package inserts, right? There's always a lot of discussion regarding package inserts, whether it's compliant with Amazon, whether it's not compliant with Amazon. Now, to make it very clear, is that package inserts are allowed on Amazon, but I would say the primary reason as to why there's so much discussion around it is because there's many ways that sellers have used package inserts where it's not compliant with Amazon terms of services. So of course, if you make it not compliant, they obviously have negative experiences and they tend to share that and be very vocal about it, right? Um, but package inserts are allowed, and I kind of just want to maybe briefly share like the three most common reasons why, as to a lot of sellers get in trouble with package inserts. Uh, Number one most common reason is a lot of sellers tend to write on the package insert, for example, write us a 5-star review. You're not allowed doing that because you're explicitly asking the customer for a positive review. And that's not saying compliant with Amazon's terms of services. They don't want you to, specifically ask a customer for a positive or 5-star review. Number two most common reason I see is a lot of sellers will on the insert will put will put language such as, if you liked our product, leave us a 5-star review. If you didn't like our product, email us here and we'd be happy to help you out. You're kind of redirecting your happy customers and your unhappy customers to different flows, right? Um, Amazon does not want that because, again, like I mentioned, Amazon doesn't want you to just specifically ask customers only for positive reviews. So that's where that's one of the most common reasons why a lot of sellers get in trouble. But I would say number three is, it seems so small, but it's a common mistake that a lot of sellers make, is that on the package insert, if you put even like smiley faces or maybe like the icon of 5 stars, that's not allowed because you're essentially kind of asking the customer for like positive reviews or positive sentiment reviews, right? So I think that is why there's a lot of discussion regarding package inserts and why a lot of sellers have gotten in trouble through it. But you are allowed using package inserts on Amazon, and you do want to make sure that you set up however you want to do it in a compliant way that follows Amazon's TOS. Mhm.
Okay, okay. I think you've raised some valid questions. So I think this leads to a very obvious question for me to ask is what is the best way to do it in terms of package inserts?
Yeah, well, this is also something that we always try to communicate with the Amazon team about, just to make sure that we're on top of the terms of services. Because, there's always a lot of changes that are happening in the Amazon's ecosystem and marketplaces. But one thing Amazon mentioned that, one thing that Amazon really wanted to kind of point out was that, you know, you want to make sure that it's completely optional for a customer to leave your review. So they don't want you to make it mandatory or required. So let's just say on the package insert, you write something along the lines of, register your extended 1 year warranty. But what you can do at the bottom of the insert is, for example, in brackets, place something along the lines of, a review is not required or a review is not mandatory. You just really want to make sure that a review is not required and there's no quid pro quo kind of stuff where if the customer does this, then they'll be able to get this.
Mhm.
Amazon just wants you to make sure that it's like completely optional, and you do want to make that very clear to the customer. Mhm.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So, um, so with regards to, let's continue this conversation about package inserts. So,
Mhm.
generally, does it work with new sellers? Does it work better with high volume sellers? Is there a special, so you would identify that, this
Mhm.
kind of seller should do this, or is it for everyone?
That's a really good question because we do talk with sellers of all different stages, whether
Mhm.
they didn't even sell on Amazon yet, they're just slowly starting to prepare their
Yeah.
products, for example, or listings, or we've also talked to sellers that are doing a couple $1 million in monthly revenue, and we have some
Mm.
sellers that have been on Amazon for more than 10 years, right? Um,
Mhm.
I think instead of as focusing the question on, our package insert, should that be something that I should use now as a seller? I think the most important question is um, kind of look at your review strategy and
Okay.
see what your review strategy is. And one thing I really like to point out is that the general statistic that Amazon shares is that only 1 to 2% of your customers are going to leave you a review.
Yeah.
That basically equals to you need to have 100 orders in order to have one review.
Mm.
You can imagine a new Amazon seller, the chances of them getting, for example, 100 orders immediately like that, it's going to be kind of low, right? It's going to take some time for it to build up. And you can imagine if, for example, you are able to have 100 orders, you have to imagine that's going to only equal to one. You're going to be lucky to get one review, right?
Yeah.
So I always like to think of it as, a lot of sellers tend to focus on their pricing, their product images, their product listings, their PPC ads, which I think is all important when it comes to selling on Amazon. But they do also need to think about their review strategy and, their review strategy. And it's important to kind of start getting reviews from day one, right? Because each of those sales that you're getting is, sorry about that. I think when it comes to reviews, you want to really make sure that you're able to collect it from day one or from the day one you're starting to get orders. And especially nowadays, I would say reviews even play a bigger role because, you see Amazon Rufus, you see ChatGPT and Shopify, you see all of these new AI related tools where reviews even have a bigger impact and a bigger role. So I think really brands and sellers need to focus on their review strategy and how they plan on prioritizing that. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, you've talked on a topic about AI and Rufus and all that sort of thing. Obviously, they are
Yeah.
all relatively new to everyone. It's coming along. A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
what to do with it. So,
Yeah.
um, how what should we think when we talk about? Let's talk about Rufus, for example.
Mm.
So, how is Rufus going to affect in terms of reviews?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. And I think, Rufus is also relatively new. At least
Mhm.
in the Amazon US website, if you try to use
Yeah.
Rufus, it still says that it's a beta.
Yes.
So you can imagine it's still building up. And I guess for those who are not aware of what Amazon Rufus is, it's basically Amazon's generative AI shopping assistant. And it basically helps customers make more informed purchasing decisions through kind of more like conversational interactions.
Yeah.
Something sort of like ChatGPT, right? If you've used it before, you type in a specific prompt. Amazon Rufus is very similar in the sense that instead of the typical, search function on Amazon, now you can actually ask Rufus like any complex questions, ask them to compare products. So you can put in such as, um, recommend me some of the top hiking, female hiking jackets that are going to be best for me in the winter season. things like that. You can ask really specific questions, and Rufus is actually going to be able to give you personalized recommendations. Um, and I think when it comes to reviews, right, or how it works is that very similar to other, I would say, AI related tools, is that Rufus is constantly analyzing content. And what kind of content is there on Amazon? You have product descriptions, product listings. Most importantly, you also have review content, right? And the quality and authenticity of these reviews. So what Rufus can do is actually is basically going to scrape all of these datas, identify these patterns, and try to provide the best recommendations to potential searchers and buyers. So right now, Amazon is basically scraping a lot of these data and trying to give like the best recommendations to customers. Yeah,
Okay, excellent. So I'm sure
yeah,
um, things will move forward with Rufus quite a bit than what it is now. And I remember
yeah.
Alexa is supposed to be your shopping assistant, but I don't think Alexa picked up at all.
Oh,
Um, so we used to see Amazon Choice. So any product which
okay.
has got Amazon Choice used to be recommended by Alexa for shopping, but I don't think
Right.
Alexa picked up very well. But let's see. Let's see. Amazon got a
Yeah.
habit of trying different things, and some things don't work, and some things work. So, right. So
Yeah,
let's try and bring our focus to Get Reviews, which is your company. So, how would Get Reviews, your company, would help sellers to automate the review collection?
yeah,
And you've already mentioned that you are already within the terms and conditions, so that's
yes.
already assured. So,
Yeah.
so talk us through the process that you have.
Yeah, so I guess when it comes to how Get Reviews works, we help e-commerce brands, sellers that are on marketplaces such as like Amazon, Target, Walmart, Shopify, collect more reviews from customers post-purchase.
Mhm.
We like to say some of these marketplaces are walled in the sense that you don't get I guess, one of the major differences between selling on Amazon and Shopify, right, is that on Amazon, you do not get any of the customer's contact information. You can't simply email a customer requesting for a review compared to Shopify, right? Now, what a lot of people don't know is that on Amazon, there are built-in tools, right, such as the Vine program, which is great. I think it's a great opportunity to get your first 30 reviews, right? But Amazon also has their built-in request a review button or request a review tool. But what a lot of sellers don't know is that it doesn't go to the customer's email address when you click that button. It goes to the customer's Amazon generated email address. So what that means is if the customer decides to turn off notifications from receiving notifications from Amazon, your customer is never going to receive that request a review, email. So what we like to say is that these are walled marketplaces in the sense that you don't get any of the customer's contact information. But we basically help you collect reviews from customers post-purchase. So what we can do is, you have a few different ways to do this, but one of them is commonly through package inserts, and the Get Reviews platform provides like a QR code for you, and you can place this on your like package insert, maybe thank you card, your product packaging, maybe any sort of like manuals that you're offering to customers. When customers scan that code, they're going to land on a branded survey page, um, basically that's customized to your company, where they're going to be able to optionally leave your review or star rating on Amazon if they'd like. But that's pretty much it. We're basically trying to just facilitate that process in terms of a customer writing your review, just because on Amazon sometimes there's difficulties, or Walmart, Target, there's difficulties on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it may be a very difficult question, but I rather ask. So, when obviously you are experienced in this field, you've got lots of customers across the North America, UK, and Australia. You mentioned before. Um, dare I ask, what sort of conversion rate are we seeing through your platform?
Yeah, great question. Well, I will say in terms of the average percentage of customers that may actually leave a text review, and the reason why I say specifically text review is because text reviews before is something that we were able to actually scrape
Mhm.
on Amazon. So we're able to actually check whether or not the customer actually left a review for you on Amazon via the Get
Mhm.
Reviews platform.
Mhm.
Um, star ratings, unfortunately, are completely anonymous information, so we'll
Yeah.
never be able to scrape that data. And that's not just us limitations, it's just an Amazon
Yeah.
marketplace limitation wise. So for example, you'll be able to see on Amazon, Joy has left a text review saying, I love this product so much, but you're not going to be able to see, for example, your customer Joy has left a 5-star review. So I just want to kind of provide that more clarification. But on average, we've seen around 15 to 25% of customers actually leaving a text review. And I do want to make it very clear is that um, Get Reviews is not just to make sure that we're staying compliant with Amazon TOS. These are not necessarily, I'm not going to say it's 15 to 25% of 5-star reviews.
Mhm.
We always try to encourage customers to leave honest feedback, whether
Yeah.
that be positive or negative, right? So, but yes, in terms of we're seeing an average of 15 to 25%. And again, I will say, unfortunately, star ratings is not something that we can scrape, but my hypothesis is that more customers are going to leave star ratings over text reviews just because it's a lot easier. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's much easier.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Cool.
yeah.
Thank you for explaining this through and the process through, and obviously thank you for spending the time with us this morning.
Yeah.
Before we close, I think there may be some people want to just have a informal conversations with you because there may be some doubts before they're signing up and things like that. So where's the best place to find you in that case?
Yes, absolutely. If they have any questions, I would recommend everyone to check out getreviews.ai. We do have just feel free to look through our website. If you'd like to schedule a demo call with us and actually speak to a person, you'll probably be speaking to me. You're more than welcome to schedule a demo call. Or if you would rather converse through email, people can just reach out to us through support@getreviews.ai, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
That's
Mhm.
great. So thank you again
Yeah.
for your time today and hope to speak to you soon. All the best for now.
Thank you so much for that. Bye bye.